Hi, I'm Migs.
And I'm Nate.
And if you're looking to spend some time in Braga, we spend 34 days there and have 2 itineraries for you to choose from. Now, the first itinerary is going to be a little bit more localized, not a lot of walking, and the second one will hit up all the tourist attractions. So stay tuned to see which itinerary you want to choose. So for the first itinerary, the local one, we're going to recommend that you start off at the city market. Now, the city market is really cool because you can get, it's a market, so you can get a lot of fruits, vegetables, but they also have a food court. They also have a section where you can get a book that has all these free activities that you could do in the city of Braga. So definitely recommend going there first. And then from there, literally across the street, you can go to Gnerations, which is a cool place that has lots of different art exhibits, different artists that will stop by. Many are free, but there are some that sometimes you may have to pay, but it's a great destination and within minutes of the city market. After Gnration, you can go to Museu dos Biscainhos, which I think is probably like a 5-minute walk. It wasn't too far from Gnration. Now, this museum is pretty cool because it's at an old home and it gives you a little bit of history of Braga and the people that used to live there. We love going to old museums in historic homes, so for us, it was one of our highlights. It also has a really cool garden that you can walk around, so a great way to get to know a little bit more about the city, and it's not too far from city center. After the museum, you can take another stroll and head to the city center and have lunch at Café Brasileira. Now, here it's really good because it is, a little bit more in the touristy area, but you get to see a lot of people. You could do people watching. They do have some good food and options as well. But the people watching is really one of the best reasons to go there.
And there are many great options that all have good outdoor seating. So you can get a drink or food outside and watch people as they stroll by. After lunch, now that you're in that historic center, we recommend going to Basilica dos Congregados, which was one of our favorite spots that we discovered by accident. We went back there a couple of times. One of those times there was a free concert that we found out about. And if you're ever lucky enough to be there at one of those occasions, it's a beautiful place for a concert. There are a lot of great churches in Europe, of course, but this one felt particularly beautiful to us. So we would recommend going there. And as you go there, you'll also go through the public square that has a large fountain and some of the public gardens in Braga. After going to the Basilica, you can turn back around and go back in the direction of the city center that you had lunch in and continue to stroll those streets, do some shopping if that's of interest to you. There's also the Santa Bárbara gardens, which you shouldn't miss. Those have some medieval ruins or medieval architecture features that are also part of that garden that make it particularly beautiful. If you need a break from your walking downtown, you can always stop by and have a cafe or a pastry dessert in one of the many cafes that line these historic streets. But when you're ready for something more substantial, we recommend dinner at pPlace, which was one of our favorite dinner spots that we went to twice while we were there. It's actually right outside of, say, Cathedral, so you'll be able to see the cathedral while you're in Braga as well, and have dinner at one of their outdoor dining tables right in front of the cathedral. It's a beautiful spot.
And the food is so good.
If you're looking for an after-dinner drink, we recommend going to Setra, which is a really wonderful cocktail bar. There are not that many cocktail bars in Braga, so Setra is a great one. They have multiple bars inside. It's a pretty large space. Later at night, it does have a DJ and usually a small dance floor. So if you're into music and dancing and cocktails, Setra is a great place for you.
For our second itinerary, we're going to really focus on more tourist attractions that are all great and worth seeing. Now, there's a lot to do, so we recommend to start the day early and start it off by going to Bom Jesus, which is probably the top attraction of Braga. And depending on where you are from Braga, you can see it. It is a massive church with, I forget how many hundreds of steps, but it is worth going to. You will probably need to take a car or public transportation to get there, but that's a good way to start your day. From there, we suggest taking a car or Uber or public transportation to the Monastery, a monks of Tibet monastery. And this was one of our favorite places. You can spend a lot of time there. It is gorgeous, it is huge. Definitely wear comfortable walking shoes. You are going to need it because it's a pretty big place, but it's our second stop that we would recommend. Now, depending on how much time you spent at Bom Jesus or the Monastery, you may have missed the lunchtime.
The Monastery does have a little cafe, so if they're open, you may choose to eat there. Or more likely, you're going to be getting a ride back to the city center of Braga and finding a snack bar there. Once you've finished your meal, then we recommend wandering around these downtown historic streets. So allow yourself to get a little lost here, walk up and down the streets that look interesting to you, but make sure you don't miss the Santa Bárbara Gardens, which we think are pretty special and unique to Braga. And if you do get a chance later in the day, they transform at night. The lighting is beautiful, so make a second visit if you can, and check them out one more time before you leave. Also, make sure not to miss Sé Braga, which is the oldest cathedral in Portugal. You can do a tour of this for just a couple of dollars, and it's something not to be missed if you're going to be spending the day in Braga. There are many hidden gems among the side streets outside of Sé Braga, so you can find a lot of great restaurant options there. One we recommend was Ruela Terrace, which we had a great meal and very great service, good drinks there. So it was all top notch and one that we think would be a great dinner option for you, but there are many others that you could find on those side streets as well. Finally, for a nightcap, we would suggest going to Tosga, which is a cocktail bar, again, behind the other side of the cathedral. And they have some outdoor seating and some nightlife along that street. Really comes alive in later parts of the evening. But we recommend going there for a cocktail either before or after your dinner. Probably after, because before they're probably not open.
And they do tend to have live music, so depending on when you go, you may be able to catch a live band. So whether you're looking to explore Braga as more of a tourist or maybe Braga a little bit as a local, we hope these 2 itineraries give you a good starting point. We also have some other videos that we put together, such as dining tips for eating in Braga. We also have some other highlights that you can watch if you want to learn a little bit more about Braga. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below if you do get a chance to visit any of these, or even if you don't, which of these sounds more interesting to you.
And if you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.